Got my last minute adjustments I always have to make, of course. Um, but as far as for whenever you're watching this, I've got something in store for you today that's a little bit, out of the ordinary, I suppose. What most people I don't think would have, a person do. And it's something that I've already hinted at a lot, and that's going to be doing the Summoner quest line. The Summoner quest line introduces specifically one NPC, but a couple of them all together that, really nearly immediately tie in to the main scenario. And if you don't do them, then the main scenario seems like it kind of has this ass pull quality about it. Where, oh, we can fix this problem, but it was something that's already been in the game. It's just not available to everybody off the bat. So, with that said, we can get into that. After that, we are planning at least to do the whole, or the entirety of 2.2's patch content, which includes one trial, and a whole lot of quests. That's the optimistic outlook, but we'll see what we get to. How about we go ahead and start by talking to Thubergeme, the Arcanist Guildmaster. Greetings, Soapy. It is well you have come, for we have an intriguing matter to discuss. A request has come of our guild from the Sons of St. Coinac, an organization of some of the finest minds in Eorzea, and they have asked for you by name. The Sons of St. Coinac actually are the people that we ally ourselves with during the Crystal Tower raids, so I think that this might be, if you are an Arcanist, the first time you hear of them, but obviously we already know them. And they're asking for us by name. It appears that the research of the Sons are currently conducting would benefit from the assistance of an arcanist, specifically one who has had the tempering experience of defeating the primal Ifrit. Though I must admit to some curiosity as to how these scholars knew the extent of your heroic exploits, I suppose the source of their knowledge is of little relevance. If you would answer the request, then you will find your contact, a researcher by the name Yamitra, at Apkalu Falls in the nation of Gridania. You bet! To Gridania, then. You are Soapy Cencquic-novem, I assume. Well met, and thank you for coming. My name, as you have obviously surmised, is Yamitra. I am a member of the Sons of St. Coinac. Ours is a Charlian order that seeks the lost knowledge of the Allegan Empire, and in that regard we have recently made a singularly important discovery at our dig site in Mordona. We salvaged from the ruins a set of ancient texts describing the existence of a sect of Allegan mages known as Summoners. In order to manifest these obedient incarnations of the Beastman's savage deities, one must first defeat a primal and capture its etheric essence. Thus, only one who can boast such a daunting achievement under his belt may even begin on the path to becoming a summoner. Do you understand now why I called upon you? If you wish to contribute to my research, then come to me in the west of Byragot Strike in southern Danland. There we shall conduct a ritual of summoning. The Austerites... Oh my goodness. Bugs. And the gnat in my room. The Austerities of Flames. Speak with Yamitra west of Byragot Strike. I don't know what is a strike. It must be the chasm. Greetings to you once more, Soapy. I had feeling this unique opportunity would be nigh impossible for you to ignore. According to the records we recovered, the summoners of old would perform these rites in a land in which the naturally dominant element matched the aspect of the avatar they wished to call forth. Only in such a place might one sufficiently shift one's etheric balance in the desired direction. The element of fire is especially strong here in the Sagoli Desert. I can think of no land more fitting in which to summon an incarnation of the Lord of the Inferno. Before we begin, I must insist that you accept this gem. It may appear of little worth, but within its faceted depths dwells the memory of long-deceased summoners. Now you must focus. Visualize the ether flowing through you, a vibrant current of energy transforming into living fire. Hold this image in your mind, and the raging heat of your life force shall spawn an eggy, wreathed in flames. Be aware, however, that this nascent entity will appear before you unbound and hostile. It is your charge to overpower the avatar and establish yourself as its master. The path of the summoner is not, if not fraught with peril. I ain't scared. It looks like a Jolly Rancher. Oh, I wasn't sure I got out of it. Duty complete! Most impressive, Soapy! The Fireborn Edgy is now submitted to your will. You've mastered the austerities of flame, and that is no small feat. Pray let us return to Upkalu Falls, where we might further discuss your achievement. Okay. Luckily, I can just return to New Gridania. Save me a bit of time, money, and energy. Gosh dang bards! No one wants to hear your music. Titan's Essence infuses your aura, Soapy. I foresee no further obstacles preventing us from attempting the next ritual. Shall we proceed to the austerities of Earth? I have every confidence that you will succeed in binding Titan Edgy to your will. According to my research, the most suitable location for the ritual is a place found to the southwest of Alder Springs in the North Shroud. A heretofore buried layer of ancient rock exposed by the violent upheavals of the Calamity has lent its surrounding area to an overwhelming earthen aspect. The conditions will be perfect. Maybe this is where I was thinking of. Where we find that dead body. The ritual you are about to perform is essentially no different from the austerities of flame. Instead of fire, however, you will be concentrating on shifting your etheric balance toward the spectrum of Earth. As before, you must demonstrate unflinching authority if you would convince the newborn avatar to heed your commands. Let us begin. Okay. Oh, I like the version of Titan's theme that's playing. Oh, I have Ruin too, though. I can do this number. Whoopah! Got him, coach. Oh, I am just a chicken nugget. Soapy, did you get the BTS meal? I come in search of Allagan relics, and what do I find but a pair of incompetent dabblers? By what jest of fate did you chance across such undeserved power? And who might you be, sir, to so boldly question our accomplishments? If you have indeed unlocked the secret of summoning, then you must be in possession of the very treasure I seek. How terribly convenient. I need only slay you both and take what I need from your bloody corpses. Gods below, a summoner? But how? Cease your infantile prattle. This continuation of my divine work far outweighs the worth of your pitiful lives. Heed me, Avatar of Infernal Flame. Incinerate these fools in all-consuming hellfire. What? Feel nature's fury, you vile blackguard. I'm tired of this childish game. Thank your gods for granting you another day of miserable existence. He's gone. What a decidedly unpleasant fellow. I must say I did not expect to meet another practitioner of the summoning arts. And I also did not expect to be suddenly fighting for my life. What precious treasure do we carry that this callous stranger was so willing to kill us to possess it? Such mysteries aside, I am most glad you were able to secure the Titan Edgy before the summoner decided to unleash his fiery avatar. Without its protection, I doubt we would have survived that conflagration. The Edgy of Earth, as was so aptly demonstrated, excels at defense. You should certainly take time to explore its capabilities, as well as its limitations. Be careful, however, not to neglect your offense completely. Meanwhile, I shall confer with my leagues and the Son of Saint Konak, and see what I might learn from the hostile summoner. Oh, what was that? That was a new ability. Anyway. How fared you with your training, Soapy? For my part, I had some success in uncovering the identity of our mystery attacker. We knew that our assailant was capable of summoning Ifrit Edgy, so I presumed the records of past expeditions for those who claimed to have triumphed against the Lord Inferno. I perused the records of past expeditions for those who claimed to have triumphed against the Lord of Inferno. Of these victorious primal hunters, there were 8 names listed as present whereabouts unknown. After eliminated unlikely candidates based on race and gender, I was left with but a single name, Tristan. Assuming the records are accurate, this Hyur was once registered as a soldier of the Immortal Flames. As to how the man came by his skills as a summoner, or why he sought to kill us, however, I remain woefully ignorant. Nevertheless, I have witnessed him use the art of summoning for casual brutality, and I cannot countenance. This power should never be employed for the sake of tyranny or personal gain. It was meant to oppose such evils. It is our responsibility to bring this Tristan to justice. Should we stand idle, his reprehensible actions could very well stain the good name of future summoners who have yet to answer their calling. Now, through my inquiries, I was able to determine that a war comrade from Tristan's days in the military resides in Little Alamigo. Let's go there! Okay. All the way to Ul'dah. And then east to South Thanalan. There's the bug. Got him. Oh, it was a mosquito. That's not good. Well, better to find it now than after he snacked on my ankles all night. Alright, where are you? Former Immortal Flame. Hello. Well, it seems like Tristan wasn't telling tall tales after all. He said I could expect some primal-addled sod to show up and start asking questions. Why don't you stay here and play with some friends of mine? I have a message to deliver. He's all yours, ladies. I'll be danged. 3 whole enemies. They weren't very tanky. I probably should have just used Ifrit. Oh, back to Apakalu Falls, huh? My return's back up. That's nice. You were set upon? The fiend is one step ahead of us. After 10 years of dig site findings that Tristan warned his old allies long before he set foot in that settlement. They thought you one of the tempered, a mortal enthralled to a primal's will. In addition to being ruthless, it appears that our opponent is highly intelligent and not quite as deranged as I first assumed. Such a level of planning hints at the existence of some greater scheme, but that is still all we know. For the moment, we must be content with the knowledge that he perceives us as a threat and is aware of our efforts to track him. Speaking of which, you did exceedingly well to survive this trap in which I blithely sent you. I must apologize for my carelessness. I will not underestimate this man again. On a happier note, however, my efforts to decipher the Allegan text proceed apace. Here, you must read this. With your skills already tried and tested against the Edgy, you should have little difficulty in mastering a secondary summoning technique such as this. Let us put this day's disaster behind us and focus on the wonders that lie ahead. Greetings, Soapy. Though it is good to see you, I am afraid I have yet to ascertain Tristan's ultimate objectives. I only know that he is cunning and brutal and that he will stop at nothing to achieve his purpose. As matters stand, we do but chase after this man's shadow. Such a straightforward pursuit will, I believe, leave us ever one step behind. Our sole advantage is the treasure we possess that Tristan appears to covet. Eventually his desire will bring him to us. Where and when Tristan will strike I cannot say, but it is unlikely to be on a field of our choosing. Thus, I suggest we prepare for this inevitable conflict as best we may. As fortune would have it, the ruins of Mordona may have provided us with a new source of strength. The word among the Suns is that a set of evoker's attire has been unearthed. Made during the reign of the Allagan Empire, these enchanted garments were sewn from the exclusive use of summoners. For the exclusive use of summoners. I can only imagine the degree to which they will enhance your already impressive powers. The man supervising the excavation's efforts at St. Coinex's find, Rambros, is a dear friend of mine. In light of our circumstances, I am certain that he will consent to a request that you be allowed to don the attire. Shall we pay him a visit? Hey, I know Rambros! To Mordona, then. Ah, Ymitra, I expected you would make an appearance before long, and I presume this fine gentleman is the new summoner I've heard so much about. Rambros, you know me. Has the discovery of the Allagan-made evoker's attire been confirmed? It has. Truly a historical find. Then I would ask a boon of you, my friend. You recall the predicament of which I spoke? Our chances of survival would be greatly improved if you could consider allowing Soapy to wear the Allagan garments. Well, he is a summoner after all, and I must confess to no small degree of scholarly curiosity as to the effect the attire will have on one with the appropriate training. I suggest you speak with my 3 field researchers and dispose of any such nasty hindrances to their work. I dare say they will then gladly surrender the pieces of the attire they hold. Now I hear from Ymitra that you need of this Allagan garment. I should be glad to see it put to practical use rather than shut away in some dusty hall. Evoker's ring bands. Man, who doesn't like a good pair of ring bands? All these guys are hiding behind pillars, like they're hiding from me. Mirror Knights? Yes, they've become quite bothersome. I would be most appreciative if you were to eliminate the creaking pests that have been plaguing me of late. Oh, gosh, that's him. Down he goes. The champion of my researchers returns. With the ruins now free of Mirror Knights, the excavation can proceed at a far more satisfying pace. You have performed a valuable duty to us, Soapy, and so you shall have the summoner's garment uncovered by my own hands as your reward. It's a hat! Not just any hat. It's wonderful! I love it so much! Alright, back to Ymitra. So this was how the summoners of old were clad. Well, more or less. It is unfortunate that the ruins have yet to sunder the final piece to the Suns. These garments, aside from the coloring, they are identical to the garb that Tristan wore. He will find no edge against you through his equipment. When next you face that murderous cad, victory will be decided purely by who is the more talented summoner. To that end, it is time you drew on your experience of defeating the Primal Garuda. Yes, her aura of fickle violence is palpable upon you. It is daunting to imagine an Eggy born of the Lady of the Vortex. Such unpredictable ferocity should serve you well. Thankfully, I have in mind a location that well suits our elemental purposes. You are familiar with the floating city of Nim in Outer Lenosha? As you might imagine, the aspect of wind is entirely dominant in the area of those suspended isles. Pray make your way there as soon as you feel prepared. I am quite excited to see this one. Hey, you bet! What is it, down here? The floating isles. The air ether. We have to go into a cavern. That's intuitive. Well, shall we begin? I assume that it is your third such experience. I assume that as this is your third such experience, you have by now grown familiar with the steps of the ritual. I sure have. I am ready to be level synced. Let's down it. Ymitra the Learned. Okay. 50, huh? Dang, yeah, that's still strong even just for a single target attack. Alright, let's go, Ymitra. Masterfully done, Soapy. Your aptitude for the arts of summoning has exceeded my highest expectations. Let us return to Apkalu Falls. I am sure you must be exhausted after this ordeal. Sure, why not? I got my return back. That's a loading screen. That's the longest one I've seen in a while. I'm an annoying bard. Blum 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 blum. I play music from The Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy. And also butt rock. At this guy right in Ymitra's face. Kind of distracting. Soapy, there's been a terrible incident. My poor colleagues at St. Quenec's Fine murdered. The reports are confused, but they all mention the same black robe manor. You know as well as I do that Tristan is behind the massacre. He has indeed grown bold or desperate to commit such a brazen act. We should set off to Mordona at once and speak with any survivors. It may be that we can glean some idea of what cold-hearted monster was after, or where he might strike next. We must stop him, Soapy. That bastard. Keep seeing this dang ring in my inventory. I need to get rid of it already. Just sell it to the first random peddler I find. Assuming he's not dead. Purchase items. Sell. Cool deal. That's Rambros. I thought that's who I was supposed to be talking to. Go down, feed. Yes, I am absolutely certain it was the same Dark Summoner whom Ymitra described to us. We were celebrating a recent find, the soul crystal of an Allegan summoner, when a man in black robes suddenly appeared and demanded we surrender the gem. Naturally, we objected to this arrogant imposition, but he simply sneered at our refusal. The next moment, the world exploded into flame. Through a haze of agony, I saw him snatch up the soul crystal from his smoldering body and stride off towards the singing shards. The bastard slaughtered my friends. There was no warning, no negotiations. If the gods grant you the chance to exact revenge, then I pray you show him the same mercy he afforded us. Oh my gracious. I've brought you the soul crystals as promised. Yes, these appear to be authentic Allegan artifacts. Very well, I shall honor our bargain. From within these gems I will draw forth the memories of the ancient summoners and the slumbering essences of the elder Primal. All the attendant knowledge and power shall be yours. God's the pain. The bumbling summoner and his incompetent lackey make an appearance at last. You think to capture me? Fools. I have orchestrated your every move. You've grown much in the art, it is true. But through the wisdoms of the Paragons, I now command the power of an elder Primal. You made a deal with the Paragons? And you call us fools? The Ascians will never relinquish their hold on you. Small price to pay. If you could but feel the strength that fills my entire being, it is indescribable. I will use this power to annihilate the beast tribes and put an end to their insufferable rituals once and for all. The Primals will rise no more. Hear me, Demon King of devouring flame, feed on my ever-burning anguish, and be reborn. The culmination of my sacred duty is at hand. But first, there is one more soul crystal that must be mine. I will tolerate its wasted potential no longer. I wonder if it's still better just to go after him. Realistically, I feel like I'm supposed to be using height. Lions, huh? Oh, wild. Devoured his life force. Rotten meat? What the heck? I am the power of God amongst men. Got him, coach. Wow, the memories of Summoner's past. I should have been unstoppable. I will swear the disease of beastmen from the face of the land. I will sear the disease of beastmen from the land. Deprived of worshippers of primals that tempered my weak-willed sibling will wither into oblivion. I botched that, I'm sorry. So my orders records were accurate. Though it was buried deep in the archives, I've recently uncovered a report that described how you slew your own brother. He was corrupted during your ill-fated encounter with Ifrit, was he not? I imagine your superiors in the Immortal Flames thought it a mercy to conceal that inglorious detail. Once the soft-headed fool had been tempered, there was no saving him, and thus I took it upon myself to expunge the stain of embarrassment. But my work is left undone. The Primal. No, all Primals must suffer for that insult. After I killed my brother, I found myself liberated, my vision cleared. No deed was too vile if it promised to add to the power I required. Can you not see? I am the Sword of Vengeance, and I shall wrest that soul crystal from your blasted corpse. Thancred did tell us after we beat Ifrit that they don't reveal that the people tempered by the primals are killed because they can't be saved. They don't reveal that to the public. I guess to avoid fear. Ymitra suggested that it might be a mercy of avoiding embarrassment, I guess, or lack of pride in the family. An interesting thought. I wonder which struck the first blow to his sanity, the despair at his brother's tempering or the guilt from slaying his own kin. I think it is ironic to think that, discounting the means, our purposes were fundamentally one and the same. The summoner employs the savagery of the primals to conquer the primals themselves. Had Tristan approached us as an ally, we might have found ourselves aiding his cause. Alas, he chose to walk the path of bloodshed. Each vicious act must have pushed the man deeper into madness until eventually the lust for power and vengeance was all that drove him. The might of the primals carries with it a burden of responsibility, a measure of danger. I hope never to see you corrupted by the potent energies you wield, Soapy. It is time we return to Apkalu Falls. The Dark Summoner is no more. I hope you're right. I don't see a body. Oh, how I'd love to declare our troubles at an end, but I fear the Ascian with whom Tristan made his bargain is yet afoot. These so-called paragons prey upon men and women who are at their weakest, speaking honeyed words to lead them down the road to destruction. In this manner they seek to plunge the realm of Eorzea into chaos. It is reassuring to know that heroes like you exist to foil their never-ending schemes and foul plots. An outright war against the Ascians looms closer by the day. Thus, I would have you armor yourself with this last piece of the evoker's attire. It was discovered at the same dig site whence Tristan seized the soul crystal, and the St. Coinex find researchers, grateful for your action in bringing the murderous summoner to justice, insisted that you complete your set. One can never be overprepared when heading into battle against a paragon. Wear it proudly, Soapy. Still your mind now, Soapy, and you will hear the voices of the ancient summoners instructing you in the greatest achievements. The true power of the Eggy will be yours. Enkindle. An interesting ability. This concludes the Summoner questline for A Realm Reborn. Took us just about an hour. What else do you have to say? I don't believe I'll ever grow weary of this spot. The sound of the falls, the dance of the fireflies, they put my mind at ease whenever I am visited by thoughts of despair.